Classic manga recommendation. With anime entering the mainstream media, most of today's generation of viewers do not know that there are old school anime which revolutionized the whole anime community and industry. These classic animes are mostly an adaptation of its manga counterpart, which not everyone knew about its existence. As much as you love watching great animation, intricate drawing style, incredible voice acting, and lastly superb original soundtrack, reading the manga will give you details not portrayed in the anime adaptation. Here are some classic manga recommendations which will hook you to watch its old school anime adaptation. Akira. This manga is not only a classic and groundbreaking for many reasons, this manga is perhaps the first to be translated into English in its entirety, long before bookstores offered a section for shoujo mangas everywhere. The story follows the effort of a teenage biker gang leader Kaneda, who attempts to prevent Tetsuo, Kaneda's mentally imbalanced childhood friend, from using his unstable and powerful telekinesis abilities that will awake an individual with the same psychic abilities called Akira. This manga paved the way for cyberpunk themes, incredible graphic violence, and beautiful artwork which is seldom in the market, and it was adapted to one of the most well-known full-length animes of all time. If you have missed somehow this wondrous work of art, go to your nearest bookstore or online website for manga. And if you love themes for social corruption, post-apocalyptic Neo-Tokyo, power has gone awry, gory cyberpunk, and an art that will blow your mind, then this manga is for you. Rurouni Kenshin. Also well known as Samurai X in its famous TV anime adaptation in the 90s. The story is set during the Meiji era in Japan, follows the story of a former assassin who is famously known as Batusai, who suddenly disappeared to become Himura Kenshin, who is a wandering swordsman who vows not to take another's life. This classic manga would show Kenshin's journey to self-redemption as a wandering swordsman. It will also show the importance of love and friendship during the difficult phases of life. If you are a fan of the Tokugawa shogunate era, then this manga is for you. As the story progresses in the manga, it also showed how Japan slowly evolved into a more industrialized modern country. Yu Yu Hakusho. This anime is commonly known as Ghost Fighter, which its manga was released in the year 1990 and was given an anime adaptation in the year 1992. Yu Yu Hakusho follows the story of Yusuke Urameshi, mostly known as Eugene in the anime community. As he saves a child, his soul is transported to the underworld where his adventures begin. He discovers things which he didn't know of and that which will complete the meaning of his life. If you love occult, martial arts, and adventurous fiction, then I highly recommend that you read the manga, for it will give you a storyline like no other. Slam Dunk. Before any sports anime has marked its way to the mainstream community, you must not forget the classic manga in the year 1990, which has its anime adaptation in the year 1993. The story will follow a young high school student, Hanamichi Sakuragi, who fell in love with a young girl named Haruko Akagi, who was a fan of basketball. Due to this, Haruko introduced Sakuragi to basketball that led him to love the sport along with his greatest nemesis, Kaede Rukawa, Haruko's crush. The anime production ended years ago. It leaves a cliffhanger for fans. However, little did the fans know that the manga is complete and continued the storyline. If you want to gain basketball knowledge, then reading this will satisfy you. And don't forget, this manga will make you laugh your heart out. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Way before mecha-themed animes were released, this classic manga contributed to the creation of such anime genre. The story is set in an alternative Japan where the world is battling against alien creatures known as angels. The manga follows a boy named Shinji who is selected by his estranged father, the director of Nerve Organization, to pilot their giant machines called Evangelion or EVAs to defend humanity. If you're a fan of action, mecha, sci-fi, and psychological thriller, then this manga is for you. The storyline will get you as the story tragically turns to dark. It may be gruesome, but it will leave you mesmerized with how the story ends. Great Teacher ONIZUKA. Today's generation of anime watchers has never known this great piece of work. As we love Kori-sensei from Assassination Classroom, you must never forget a legendary mentor. This manga talks about your not-so-ordinary teacher. The story follows Akechi Onizuka, a former delinquent who wanted to be a teacher. He was assigned to teach the most troublesome class full of delinquents, thugs, and underachievers. At first, the manga will show its comedic side. However, every student in the story will show their issues and their problems at home. Onizuka will help them and will become one of the best teachers the school will ever see. If you want a slice of life manga that will give you a good laugh and a lesson that will last a lifetime, then this manga is definitely worth the read. Bisouju Senshi Seramun. Famously known as Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon and later on as Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, is the most classic Mohou Shoujo genre ever made. The story follows the magical action adventures of a teenage girl who discovers her destiny as the legendary warrior Sailor Moon as she bands together with the other Sailor Scouts to defend the Earth and galaxy. If you're a fan of magical girls, then I recommend you read this manga. It's not just an action-packed adventure story, but also caters to all kinds of love between persons, which is well received by the LGBTQ+ community. Berserk. One of the best mangas which most fans do not know about and that every fanboy should take time to read. The protagonist of the story is Guts, an ideal young boy who was betrayed by his mentor, who he deeply loved and respected. Now he thirsts for blood and is continually facing difficult challenges ahead of him. However, his given strength and resilience keeps him from knocking at death's door. This manga is suitable for action and fantasy genre fans. The manga may be dragging at some starting volumes, but the plot will move slowly. It's definitely worth the wait. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. If you are familiar with Hayao Miyazaki, then you know this anime film. However, not every fan knows that this is based on the only manga written by him. This manga has many of Miyazaki's central and reoccurring themes. A strong and independent female protagonist that finds a balance between humans and nature. If you are Miyazaki's fan, then reading the only manga he ever made will surely mark you as a hardcore fan of his work. Gundam, also famously known as Battle Angel Alita. This manga was based on a film with the same name. Battle Angel Alita tells a story of Alita, a female cyborg who does not remember her past life. She was found in the dumpster by a cybermedic expert, Daisuke Ido. The story will progress as she tries to remember her old life. Just like Akira, this is a cyberpunk-themed manga that you will love. It may have a film adaptation, but reading the manga will give you details not mentioned in the movie. It's a must-read. Case Closed. A manga series known as Detective Conan was popular in the 90s up to now. Detective Conan follows the story of a famous high school detective, Shinichi Kudo, who was transformed into a child by a crime syndicate known as the Black Organization. He disguised himself as Conan Edogawa to keep his true identity a secret. He lives with his childhood friend Ran Mori, whose father is a private investigator. In doing so, he wants to track down the group responsible for his childlike state and to find a cure. If you're a fan of the famous detective fictional character named Sherlock Holmes, then this manga is for you. This manga is for those who are fascinated with crime stories and for those who are a fan of Arthur Conan Doyle. If you are new to the anime community, knowing some of these classic mangas that marked and stood the test of time will give you a new appreciation of the industry. Knowing the roots of this fandom is another kind of satisfaction for geeks like you and me. So what are you waiting for? Check out some of them and unravel a new part of you.